So again, I welcome you, sir, with our very next session, which is on the applications in metal 3D printing. So I hope we'll start with the session as it has been delayed. So over to you, sir, now. So thank you once again, sir.
Thank you, Pramod. I think there was some interruption because of internet problem on my laptop. This was temporary for 5 minutes. I tried from desktop, it started to work, and then I realized this laptop internet has also come back. So uh, I am from my laptop only now. So I am sharing the screen. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So welcome participant to this second session. In this session, I will talk about applications of metal 3D printing. So I start again with the context which I mentioned in my first session. We observed that significant increase in this additive manufacturing technology throughout the world is taking place, and there is a worldwide focus in this area. And in India too, we need to garner the research in this area so that we could also make indigenous AM components, and also at the same time we could develop process for various metal materials applicable for different Indian industries. So when we see, first question comes to our mind is that when we should use additive manufacturing. So I summarize it like this: wherever we need improved functionality, for example, lightweight structure, conformal cooling channels, material reduction, these ideally should to manufactured by additive manufacturing. Because all these functionality can be very well addressed using additive manufacturing, which are difficult and many times impossible by conventional manufacturing. Here, the figure shows some very complex parts, and then some parts for conformal cooling channel, some parts with material reduction and all, a novel design where material was designed without compromising any performance. So this is first application, first area where we should, first incidence where we should use additive manufacturing. Second incidence should be when we see high manufacturing cost due to processing. For example, complex structure. Processing such a structure using conventional manufacturing incur high manufacturing cost. Here, additive manufacturing can offer significant cost reduction because of use of a single machine. So this is the second instance when we can use additive manufacturing. The third instance when we want to save on assembly cost. Some parts requires assembly of several parts, and using traditional manufacturing, this is a time consuming as well as a costly affair. So if we want to minimize this, we could use additive manufacturing to minimize number of joints so that assembly time and assembly cost both can be reduced. So these are the third instance. So if you see in all these three instances, additive manufacturing can offer a really cost effective solution and a doable solution. Fourth instance is also important when we want to save material. Like say these days, a lot of application in lattice design, then topology optimization, then mixed sandwich kind of structure are being conceived, and here the only technology available is additive manufacturing technology. No other conventional manufacturing can manufacture such complex parts. So it will not only lead to material saving but also weight reduction. So wherever we encounter such four instances, we could or we should use 3D printing technology. Now let us come to application of metal additive manufacturing. So here I have shown a figure where I marked several industrial sectors where metal additive manufacturing can be very useful, starting from aerospace, repair, automotive, tooling, hydraulics, and some parts printed were also shown. So we could see that a whole lot of industry are at stake, and in those industries a whole lot of applications are possible. I would address one by one some industries. I'm starting with additive manufacturing technology in aviation industry. So you are aware of such success stories. For example, 3D printing of jet engines by General Electric. In the year 2016 itself, GE has created fuel nozzles for its aircraft engine using this metal additive manufacturing technology. And the 3D printing allowed them for the weight of the nozzle to be reduced by 25%, number of parts used to create the nozzle to be reduced from 18 to 1, and more intricate cooling pathways and supports, giving the nozzle a 5-fold increase in durability. So you can just notice with this success story the advantage related, right? Then further in 2016, GE sent the engines to Airbus with about 20 3D printed nozzles, and engines using these nozzles are approximately 15% more fuel efficient than their counterparts. So we are talking about only one component, nozzles, and it can result in 15% fuel economy. If we could replace several such parts, you can imagine the advantage, right? Airbus has been extremely receptive to these engines with over 10,000 orders already placed to GE, and that valued at around $145 billion. You see just one part we are talking, right? Nozzle. And since it resulted in 15% fuel efficiency, a new business worth 145 billion has been started. All right. Okay. So you can understand the potential, right? So in aerospace, different parts can be manufactured. I have listed some parts like turbines, propellers, rocket engine and satellite component, thrusters, interior parts, hardware and control system for aircraft. Then tools for fabricating such parts, specifically composite parts. Then further some strong and lightweight components, right? And all these parts replacement can significantly enhance the aerodynamics and increase fuel efficiency. So this is one sector, aerospace, right? I will continue on this sector challenges after a few slides. I moved on to another industry, automotive industry. See, the metal 3D printing application mainly started with aerospace, then by biomedical, and then tooling, and now automotive is also picking up. I'll see why automotive picked up at the end, or why it is still little bit in doubts. So, but before that, let us see the potential application in automotive. The first application, we can enhance quality via rapid prototyping in automotive industry. By using AM, we can create prototypes well before the final production, and automakers can be able to test for quality ahead of actual production schedule. And since the prototyping step is quite fast in additive manufacturing, we could take full advantage of this. Given the design flexibility of additive manufacturing, companies can build and test a large variety of prototypes in very less time. Okay, here's some examples also. Okay, second advantage customized fabrication of tooling. In automotive, we need lot of specialized tooling to manufacture those parts, whether it is investment cast tools or some other post machining tools or something like that. And with the introduction of new models and new designs, like in every month, right, you need to change these tools very rapidly. And if you manufacture these tools using conventional manufacturing, you will need time. But if you manufacture these using additive manufacturing, you could take advantage of fast production of these tools. So for some automotive components, tooling and investment casting are prepared for a specific design prior to production runs. This means that with every design change, tooling has to be appropriately adjusted or remade, which is a time-consuming and expensive process. Here also one success story by BMW. It has used additive manufacturing in direct manufacturing of hand tools used in testing and assembly. These custom designed hand tools have better ergonomic design and are 72% lighter than traditional hand tools. One example is shown here. So you see, this is the second advantage in automotive industry. Third is we can reduce tooling cost in product design. Examples are shown here. For some automotive components, tooling and investment casting are prepared for a specific design prior to production. This means that with every design change, tooling has to be appropriately adjusted, which I already mentioned. By additive manufacturing, prototypes of components such as cylinder head, intake manifold, air vents, the industry can cut down drastically on the time required to create these parts using investment casting. So here one more success story. For a single component such as engine manifold, developing and creating the prototype usually cost about 500,000 US dollar, and it can take easily 4 months. But using additive manufacturing, Ford Motors have developed multiple iterations of this component engine manifold in just 4 days at a cost of US $3,000. So you are winning both cost-wise and time-wise. Then fourth advantage is more complex design that drives weight reduction. So as I mentioned in aerospace, some topologically optimized designs without compromising on performance. The same is applicable for automotive, and here the example is shown, right? So this is like reduction in weight through alternation at a structural level is required, and this can be done quickly using additive manufacturing. Airbus and GE have incorporated AM in production for some aerospace as well as automotive parts, as I already mentioned, and they are also doing that for UAV now, which comes basically under automotive sector, unmanned aerial vehicles. You know, these drones and UAV and all those are very much applicable now and very much being used. So there, additive manufacturing can offer a very acceptable solutions. So now I mentioned challenges for automotive, why it picked up or picking up late. So first is by additive manufacturing, the volume production is low. But actually in automotive, the volume production is very large. For example, in 2013, about 86 million automobiles were produced globally. Given the enormous volume in automotive sector, the low production speed of additive manufacturing is one of the significant impediment to its wider adoption for direct part manufacturing in automotive. Driven by this, nowadays focus has started on high-speed additive manufacturing, and this has become an important area targeting automotive sectors. Research is going on, and in some time we will see high-speed additive manufacturing machines available. So you see, although a 3D printer takes hours to produce a complex metal piece, which can be actually cast in seconds, But if you see the total product cycle involved, you see the design making, then prototyping, and then actual part production. All these steps through additive is quite fast rather than through investment casting, right? So here, this part for a serial production, additive manufacturing can definitely win. Now it has to customize for little bit more productive scenario, like some mass customization, and for that high-speed additive manufacturing is coming into picture. So in automotive parts, we can list some of the potential applications, like say rapid prototyping for OEMs, custom ergonomic tooling, engine components, cylinder heads, spark plugs, intake manifolds, drive shafts, brake disc, interior components, lightweight vehicle body designs, incorporating aluminum and carbon fiber to improve fuel efficiency, complex components, high performance parts for racing cars, even for classic and car parts. So these are potential applications. I mentioned classic and rare car parts because they are old cars, but still it is being produced and people are fancy about that. And their designs may not be readily available because of their old design. So using the reverse engineering technology, additive manufacturing can recreate the parts for cars under classic and rare car category. Currently, the main applications are related to engine parts, body and structural parts, and interior parts. But as I mentioned above, beyond this also, a lot of applications are possible in automotive. So if I want to list challenges for aerospace and automotive, because these two industries are major industrial driver for industry group. So main challenges for these two sectors I would like to list. One is manufacturing large parts. So one of the limitations of additive manufacturing utility in aerospace and automotive industry is the limited build envelopes available in the current machines. Given this restriction, larger components such as body panel that are produced through AM still have to be attached together through processes such as welding or mechanical joining. To overcome this, low-cost additive manufacturing technology that can support large build size for metal parts have to be developed, and research work has been started in this area. Then second major challenge is skillful labor. The use of any new technology requires people trained in skills specific to its operation, and additive manufacturing is not an exception. So AM specific skills are necessary in the areas of CAD design, AM machine making, operation and maintenance, raw material preparation, management, process physics, analysis, finished physics, and supply chain and project management. So nowadays you can look at that industry which are taking use of additive manufacturing. They are developing their skill force in all these areas, right? Then with the expansion of AM application, there will be a greater need for formal and extensive training and skill development programs in the application and management of additive manufacturing. So we are talking about this FTP. So this FTP is also one of that skill development, right? You develop skills, then you translate this skill to your students and all, and this way, the volume of skillful labor will increase. Then the second main challenge is less materials amenable to additive manufacturing. While conventional manufacturing currently uses a wide variety of materials such as metals, alloys, composite, AM has not been around long enough to see similar development. So material domain is still a little bit, less here. But this material domain is being expanding with time, and in some time more and more materials will be added. So material specific research in additive manufacturing is also important thrust area. With this, all these results, the material portfolio will expand in some time, right? So you see, we need more new materials which can address, high strength, corrosion resistance for automotive, at the same time lightweight, right? Then in aerospace, high temperature requirement, right? Some isophobic surfaces requirement to avoid ice accretion problems. All these are different materials requires to be developed. All right. After addressing application in automotive and aerospace, I like to point application in tooling. So you could see that in tooling, different tools required, like say composite tooling, dental tooling, fixtures and jigs for watch industry, tools for dental, inspection tools, all, then investment casting tool, then cooling tool and all. These can be manufactured using additive manufacturing. And as I mentioned, rapid prototyping and rapid launch to the market aspect help to launch new and better design in a quick time. And in additive manufacturing, benefit in tooling can be listed as maximum freedom of design, design-driven manufacturing, highly productive tools, flexible manufacturing process, FGM kind of tool, reduction in cost. All these are possible. And this tooling could address to different industries: biomedical industry, aerospace industry, automotive industry, casting industry, right? Welding industry, and so on. So if I just want to look at which tooling application can benefit from him, so some examples I have listed. For example, molding tools, blow injection, paper pulp mold, soluble cores for hollow composite parts, fiberglass, layup, mold, etc. These tools can be prepared by additive manufacturing. In casting, investment sand, spin casting tools. In forming, thermoforming, metal hydroforming tools. In machining and assembling and inspection, like jigs, fixture, model fixture, etc. And robotics end effectors like grippers, etc. Some examples are shown as figures here. So these are some examples which I thought about, but as I mentioned, you can think independently and evolve some new applications. One more example in tooling is that when we use some tools, right, the tool deteriorate because of heating, right? Like say here a mold is shown, which has a cooling channel conventional, like a straight channel. But if we design cooling channel like conformal cooling channels using additive manufacturing, then we can show that the temperature rise in the mold is not that much. With that happens, the life of the tool will increase. So conventional versus conformal cooling channel, one example is shown here in this figure. You can see in conventional cooling channels, the maximum temperature rise is something like 191 degrees centigrade. With conformal cooling channels manufactured using additive manufacturing, maximum temperature rose only up to 81 degrees centigrade. So you see more than half of reduction. So in that way, the life of the tool will improve. This is one example, several such examples in machining, drilling, investment casting, and so many things we can think about, right? In biomedical industry, like dentistry or medical devices, a lot of applications are possible. Like in dentistry, dental restorations, custom implants, surgical drill guides, temporary ceramic crowns, bridges, orthodontic models, and molds, surgical tools. Right, some examples are shown. In medical devices area also, we have we can think about biocompatible ceramic and metal implants, leg braces, hip and knee replacement, custom prosthetics, bone and tissue scaffold, and then bioresorbable materials, orthopedic implants, robotic limbs, hearing aids, custom surgical tools, cast replacement, wearable sensors and devices. So you can see a lot of applications for metal 3D printing is possible in biomedical area. Some more examples in these are some implants of the uh, skull, then hip, then in some replacement in chest area, then dental, skull bone, then various leg and hand orthodontics and all. So lot of possibilities exist. There is no doubt about that. After biomedical, another area I want to highlight for industrial application, repair and reclamation of worn parts. So this is, I list this as other blessing of additive manufacturing. You see, many parts which are complex and expensive, if they get damaged, we would ideally like to repair that so that it can be used for some more time, right? This will reduce overall cost. And this is very much applicable in aerospace, then power sectors like turbines and all, right? It is a common practice to add virgin metal to worn and or missed machine parts. And techniques typically used are welding, brazing, thermal spraying, plating, etc. Now, among these techniques, another technique, 3D printing, is adding to that. It can also be added. And some additive manufacturing techniques such as laser cladding, cold spray are currently being used as a commercial repair techniques already. But more like DED I mentioned can be also used, and it is also being tried. So the advantage of such additive manufacturing over conventional repair technique would include minimum dilution of repair material with the substrate, and a metallurgical bond rather than a mechanical bond will form, which will impart the strength as good as original strength. So some example is shown for DED process. It is fast, high material deposition rate, multi-material possibility, functional material deposition possibility. Then using SLM is also possible. Laser cladding is possible. Cold spray it is possible. So these are creating a whole suite of additive technology for repair and reclamation application. So some examples are shown here, taken from literature. Like this example is show that a part made of titanium 64 alloy, it is being repaired, and then typical microstructure. Then a titanium alloy bearing housing repair. You can see that it looks as good as original. Then repair of inconel compressor seal. You can see zoom part here. Then another part is thermal spray process is used to repair shaft. And then second is lens using this process, DED process. So you can see the quality of repair. It is not bad. And then some more example like atomizer drive coupler gear is being repaired. Gear manufacturing, it often suffers with some small defects. And if that can be corrected, you can use that gear rather than throwing it, right? So there are many examples where in repair and reclamation area, additive manufacturing can contribute a lot. Like say here, the gear example was shown. The gear was broken after operation sometime, and the challenge was, can some of these tooth be repaired? So you see, it was repaired using this DED technique, after that it was machine, and then it looks as good as the original. And as I mentioned, using laser, the joining of new added material with the previous material is as good as like original joint. So you see, instead of throwing this gear, we can use it. Suppose this gear was of high cost material, like say titanium alloy or Inconel, then definitely if you can reuse it, you can save some money. So you see this example, the broken gear in food processing machine, it was repaired using Inconel 718 with the DED process, and it saved 12 weeks downtime waiting for a new gear, because ordering a new gear also may take some time. Additionally, it saves some money because you don't have to buy a new gear. So based on these examples, you can understand even in this repair and reclamation area, there are a lot of utility of additive manufacturing. So I like to list some future challenges for metal additive manufacturing. We have seen there are a lot of potential application, and the window of this application is increasing day by day, not only industry wise but within a certain industry application wise. Different parts are being explored and being someday or the other you are hearing some success story. So I like to ask you, how many of you uh, are regularly following some research journals or some research magazine in the area of additive manufacturing? Are you following? Hello? Hello?
Any
No,
part?
sir. Yes, sir.
So there are some very good magazines, research magazines available. I mean, you should follow those magazines, and some targeted journals, like say,
Okay, sir.
some journals in this area. All of you must be aware of, right? Nowadays, many journals are available, starting from additive manufacturing, journal of materials processing and technology, then materials and design, metallurgical transaction, some heat and mass transfer kind of journals, some manufacturing kind of journals. All are now, you can see that uh, in all these journals, many additive manufacturing papers are coming up in every issue. And apart from that, some additive manufacturing magazines, right? So, so we recognize a huge potential for metal additive manufacturing, but at the same time, we have some open challenges also. So I mentioned these challenges in my previous lecture also. Like material window is not that wide. Then even for available material window, parameters for a new part needs to be redesigned. Okay. Then for new material exploration, the parameters have to be redesigned from the beginning. Okay. Then other challenge is that because of anisotropic microstructure, some mechanical properties are inferior to that resulting from forging, for example. So here this is one of the aspects to look into. Surface finish of the parts is one challenge. I mentioned that the maximum surface finish you can get of the order of powder size, and if you want to achieve better, then you need to undertake some post finishing operations. Then if you talk about single part cost, it will appear costly. So somehow this serial production has to be transferred to near mass production or batch production kind of thing, as well as the machines are expensive, so it requires some initial capital investment. So less expensive machine should also come up. Then I mentioned that in additive manufacturing, one aspect is important: repeatability should be ensured from part to part, and the same part manufactured using different machines. Okay. Then build time should be reduced, and how to produce bigger parts. Then in conformal cooling channels area, finishing of internal channels is important aspect. After this, the most important aspect for an industry is to evaluate economics comprehensively for various manufacturing, right? Because if economics works for them, then only they will adopt this additive manufacturing, else no. But as I mentioned, sometimes additive manufacturing should not be taken as the complete replacement of conventional manufacturing, but as an add-on to conventional manufacturing. So economics should be worked out properly. All right. So currently the materials window available, for example, in aluminum alloy, we have AL SI 10 mg alloy, and using this alloy, light metal for motor sports and aerospace interior applications are possible. In titanium alloy, we have TI6AL4V, TI64, which can be used for light metal alloy for aerospace, motor sports, and biomedical application. We have commercially pure titanium also, which can be used in medical and aerospace. We have cobalt alloys, cobalt chrome moly super alloy, which can be used for high temperature application and also for dental application. We have nickel based alloys, various nickel based super alloys, which are ideal candidate for aerospace high temperature application. We have different kinds of steel alloys, barraging steel, stainless steel, and all, which can be used for high performance tooling and mechanical application, and also abrasion resistance and medical applications. But still, the material window is not that wide. We need to think about composites. We need to think about uh, metal polymer composite. We need to think about metal ceramic composite. We need to think about some hard materials. Uh, we need to think about some difficult to process material like copper powder or aluminum powder, right? We need to think about some, or gold, for example, which gold and silver, that will find a huge application in jewelry, right? And people are exploring that also, gold and silver, and even platinum. They wanted to take advantage of capability of additive manufacturing in printing complex design with less number of assemblies in jewelry. Okay. Then we need to think about some refractory material. We need to think about some high temperature ceramics like zirconia, alumina, and like that, right? So, but a lot of material domain has to be improved, right? And research is going on. I would say that see, I'm telling you my history. I started this research, or specifically, I started a full-fledged semester course on additive manufacturing from the year 2015. Right, that time I used to tell these things. In coming 2-3 years, this technology, you will see that you will be all over. Right now, we are in 2020. In 5 years, we can see yes, I was very right. Right, that time the AM business or publication or research happening AM, and now it is happening. You can compare, and down 3 years, you will see what I'm talking about. Different kind of materials and lot of new applications, new industry, right? Everything will join, everything will come. So that is what I am telling you. This is a very good opportunity for everyone to explore this technology. And exploration area is in all aspect, as I mentioned, starting from design, then process physics, science involved in process, post processing, right, in management area, in application area, in exploring different industry area, in out of box thoughts like in jewelry application. Now it is being applied in fashion industry, sports industry, uh, car racing industry, right? Sports car, then racing cars, and so many applications. I'll show you something. You will see. So, if we talk very precisely the problems, research problems, then we should think about, you know, microstructure study, both modeling and experiments, improving build rate, improving upon residual stress, improving on surface finish, and manufacture of complex net structure, lattice structure comes into this category, alloy development for new and novel materials, exploring multi-materials and functionally graded materials. Then on pre-processing side, CAD design, rastering design, slicing design, topology optimization. And then on application side, unimaginable number of applications are possible. Okay. So you think something and then try out, you would be surprised that you get success. So this is something like very interesting part. An iceberg emerged in sea. 1/4 part is outside, 3/4 part is below the sea. These are still unexplored and these are explored. So you can see there is something like now 3D printing is well established for models development, prototype development, master pattern development, some aircraft parts, consumer products. Now it is being developed for mold in that medical implants, printing in outer space, custom prosthetics, metal aircraft parts. Some parts have already come up actually. Batteries and electronics, this is an important area for energy, right? Energy and semiconductor industry. Fashion, clothing, food products, living tissue, integrated electronics, smart intelligence structure, human organs, and many unimaginable applications. So you see, this is taken from some Wohler report from 2014. We are 6 years after that, and some of these parts are already being explored, and more new parts are being applications are being added. So here I would like to say where this aim is heading. Okay. So I think I reached the end of the lecture. I think I finished it quickly. The issue is that in between you have not stopped me to ask questions. So I want you now to ask questions.
Hello, sir. Can I ask a question?
Yeah, please tell me your name and then ask question.
Sir, my name is Varsha and I'm from Pune. Sir, in this presentation, you were talking about the replacement of investment casting with additive manufacturing, and specifically from automobile sector point of view. So, but in automobile sector, production rate matters a lot. And in addition to production rate, we have to also take care for the surface finish and the hole diameter accuracy. So is it possible with the help of this additive manufacturing, because delamination will be there, and again I'm not sure about the damping capacity, because in automobile sector damping capacity is most essential. So will it be possible with this additive manufacturing if we are going to replace the investment casting?
So damping capability, additive manufacturing can manufacture these parts. I'm telling you, complex net structures. Okay, and these complex net structures are known for having good damping capacity. So this will find a very important aspect, and I think I'm happy that you mentioned about the need of damping capacity in automotive. And of course, this net structure or lattice structure should be attempted to check all these aspects.
Because sir, during additive manufacturing, now I think there is a gap between the layers because we are going to do it layer by layer. So the gap will
What is there is gap between?
layers. We are going to do it layer by layer. No. So
No,
I
no,
think
there won't be a gap. Okay, the layers with the layers will be joined together in a consolidated manner. Okay, there won't be gap unless
no.
there is some porosity. Unless there is some porosity. Okay.
Sir, I'm not talking about very huge gap like a delamination or there might be a debonding.
No, that is there. See, why you are talking about, talking about problems. Yes, every manufacturing process will have some problem, but there are ways to rectify or reduce those problems. So that is why I mentioned, if you design the additive manufacturing process nicely, you can get rid of all these problems. So you can get a very nice defect-free part.
Okay, sir. And again, additive manufacturing is having limitation for surface finish and hole diameters. So, how additive manufacturing can be a replacement for investment casting?
See, investment cost part also, surface, if you design the mold very nicely, then surface finish can be better. Okay. So additive manufacturing surface finish is limited by same as like powder particle size, right? So nowadays, thrust is there to use even smaller particle size in the range of micron, 5 to 10 micron. With that usage, the surface finish will improve. Further, additive manufacturing parts can be, post process to improve the surface finish. It is like any casting. Any casting surface finish is not that good, so you need to post process using some machining process. So here also you can use machining process. Then hole diameter part. See, this is one of the current challenge. Like
Yes.
so internal holes, sometimes they do not remain spherical, and along the build direction, their size varies. So this is an existing challenge, and this is being looked at by various researchers and all, how to control this. And for that, it might happen that proper support structure or building in different orientation, or somehow locally, adjusting the parameters where you witness the hole. So something is coming up, but still it is an open problem.
But sir, if we are talking about this, what we can say, use of supports and all, then how it will be a replacement for spin casting? Spin casting, do you want to say spin casting means centrifugal casting?
No, see, why? See, I always told you, don't consider this process as a complete eliminator for existing technology. Okay.
No, sir, I'm not thinking in that way. I'm
No,
just asking.
so what will happen? So of course, some parts which are to be manufactured using centrifugal casting, they should be done by that only. The additive cannot replace that. Okay, but there are plenty of other areas where additive can replace or aid upon the existing technology. Okay, you don't think or don't consider that after 5 years, this investment casting process or centrifugal casting process will completely go away. It will not going to happen. Okay.
No, sir, no, sir. In your one of your slide, you mentioned that it can be a replacement for spin casting, sand casting, and investment.
Sand
So,
casting, yes, sand casting is yes, but see, I also mentioned that you need to look at economics part, right? Economics part is very important because only then any industry will adopt that process.
but
Right?
sir, then we have to hamper the production rate, no?
This is what I mentioned. Na? Suppose some parts you are having, which is complex in shape, okay, and you don't need mass production for that, some serial or some batch production. So when you see that casting is not able to do that complex shape, although it is doing fast rate, but since the large volume of that part is not required, why not use additive, which can really manufacture the complex shape? So here it can, yes.
You have mentioned it for automobile sector, so that's why I got confused because
No,
their
no,
production limit requirement is mandatory.
no, no, it is mandatory, but you think also in automotive also, I mentioned various application area, right? Starting from direct part replacement, then tooling, then prototyping, and all those things. So, and then some parts, may not be required so much. For example, let us talk about one part which is used as one part in a Tata Motors cars. Okay, so but that part is complex and conventional manufacturing giving problem with that part, right? So in Tata Motors, how many cars Tata Motors manufacture in a month? Just tell me. So say 5,000 cars in a month, right? So or 10,000 cars in a month. So 10,000 such parts would be required. So it is not a very bulk volume. It can be prepared by additive manufacturing. If it can reduce the defects found because of conventional manufacturing.
Okay, all right. Okay. And sir, regarding tooling, if we have to make the provision for coolant in my cutting tool, let's say it's a drill bit. So, is
Hmm.
it possible to do that internal holes for coolant by additive manufacturing? Can we do that?
It is possible, but the drill bit material needs to be processed through additive manufacturing. If it is drill bit material is something like steel or some in powder, it should be available in powder form. Then it is possible. That is what I mentioned. Conformal cooling channels are very easy to build using additive manufacturing.
Okay.
But if you talk about diamond tool and something like CBN tool, so powder form of those materials are not still available.
Okay, all right. Okay, sir, thank you. I'm done from my side.
All right. Other participants?
Any other questions from the participants? Any questions? Um,
Pramod, I think ठीक है.
yes, sir, you can speak, sir. Mohan, sir.
ठीक है. So
Nothing, sir. There is no
I think
questions.
no questions.
Okay.
Okay. ठीक है. So we can end the meeting then.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Hmm?
Okay, sir. So I just wait for a minute, sir. Yes. So thank you very much, sir. So thank you for accepting the invitation and to have this session here. So we had a very deep glimpse about what is the basics and fundamentals regarding the metal 3D printing, and even we had the applications what you have said through the various even companies you said about one of the companies about BMW and all. So it's been good to about the 3D metal printing would be the near futures one of the good source for the producing the parts and with a very short time. So I really thankful, sir. Very thanks for accepting us on this platform with the Bharati Vidyapeeth College of Engineering and along with the Atal FDP program. So thank you very much, sir. Thanks a lot, and we wish hired with the same connections together to have the more workshops and with more other research work. So thank you very much, sir.